Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm MartialGamer. For this video, I'm experimenting with a different kind of format. I'm still new to this YouTube thing, but I'm learning. Let me know if you like this new format. Today, we're taking a look at Cantata, a turn-based game where you participate in tactical combat across large maps. Cantata just came out in early access on the 12th of May 2022. And in case you're watching this video sometime in the future, some of the things I'm about to say may not be relevant anymore as the game develops. The developers have already laid out a roadmap detailing their plans, and it's looking impressive so far. More on that in a bit. Also, links will be in the description below if you want to get the game for yourself on Steam. First off, let's talk about the unique art style of the game. Speaking personally, I found it very captivating, and the pixel graphics are very satisfying. The overall mix of music and presentation makes for an immersive experience. The events of the game take place on the planet of Shoal and features three factions: the humans, the aliens, and the machines, each with their own agenda in this war. Each faction plays differently from the other and have certain mechanics, some similar like loading and unloading, and some different like using units to build other units. Now, let's get into the gameplay. As I mentioned earlier, there's three factions. They all use global resource, which is the basic building block that everything is created from. Think of this like a very versatile resource that can be used to craft anything. Starting from your basic metal alloy, to fuel, to metal plates, and engines. With that basic understanding, you create supply chains with an end product in mind. For example, the rickshaw, which is the most basic human vehicle, requires engines and fuel to construct. So we start out with our basic global resource, we create alloys, and we send some to the refinery to create fuel. And then we send some to the engine factory to create engines. We can expand this supply chain a little bit further, and then we send the fuel that we created and the engines to a garage, which is then able to construct our rickshaw. The game does become somewhat of a juggling act because you're managing resources, you're also managing your supply lines, and you're also managing your troops. Also, on the topic of units, they can level up, and so can your commander. Keep in mind that not all units can level up. From what I've seen, it is only your organic units. Every time your unit levels up, it will gain some kind of stat. Sometimes it's extra damage, sometimes it's vision range, and sometimes it could be extra health. In the case of humans, when your commander levels up, you gain action points, and you also gain access to more technologies and buildings that you can construct. Action points is a special resource that you have access to, and it refreshes completely every turn. And it allows you to force your units to either do an additional attack or do an additional move. These additional attacks and movements are called burst attacks and burst movements. Keep in mind that each unit can burst move and burst attack once per turn, regardless of your action points. As I mentioned earlier, the map is big. The map is divided into smaller zones or areas. You can claim these areas by increasing your pressure on them. This is done by either stationing units in the area or, in the case of humans, placing down one or more royal banners which give 5 pressure each. The combat itself is very straightforward and doesn't need any explaining. It is very simple. If you are in melee range of an enemy unit and you try to move out of that area, you will get what's called an attack of opportunity. It's basically that the enemy gets a free attack on you if you try to leave their zone of influence. Attacking an enemy in melee range may result in a counterattack unless you right out kill that enemy in your attack. The game currently supports basic modding, and as far as single-player campaigns go, we currently have one act which consists of 3 chapters. Each chapter will cover one faction. The developer's final vision for the game is to have a total of 3 acts and 3 chapters each. What this means is you will get 3 campaigns per faction, and each campaign will be with a different commander. It is still unknown if these commanders will have different abilities or access to different units within their faction based on their specialty or whatnot, similar to how Command & Conquer generals had different generals with different units, abilities, and buildings. That being said, the game is still at least a year away from coming out of early access, but the roadmap is promising. So, the game came out on May 12th, 2022, and right now it only has the campaign Act 1, which contains 3 chapters and basic modding. Next on the plan is going to be to add in multiplayer with built-in and generated maps, as well as a map generator, and skirmish mode, as well as custom modding, which means the ability to have custom units so players can create their own custom scenarios, as well as having unit passives so each unit will have some kind of unique passive ability. And as these updates are coming out, I will be posting videos for you guys and updating you, so keep an eye out for that. Also, subscribe. So, is the game good in its current state? I would say yes, and it's only going to get better from here. However, the game is still not without its flaws. I did notice here and there were just some minor graphical errors. I was not able to capture them in this recording session, but they're there. They're small, they're minor, they're not game-breaking in any way. If you are a fan of strategy and tactics, then I highly recommend this game for you, because you're gonna see something new in this genre that's, I dare say, never been done before, which is logistical lines that you send supplies through. Anyway, that's all I have for you. I hope you liked this new style of video. I'm still experimenting with it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What can I do to improve it? Also, would you like to see a let's play of this campaign? Leave it all below. I'll read it, I promise. Alright. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.